Hello everyone. Today videos I'm going to actually share with you one of the strategies that I'm currently forward testing. Okay, it's not back testing, it's forward testing. Okay, which means I'm using this strategy to actually test on a live tradings. Okay, this is a 15-minute chart. Okay, strategies. So let's start. Okay, so basically every Mondays or every beginning of the weeks, okay, I will basically identify uh, uh, the pair directions. Okay, so two things we must discipline ourselves is like we have to focus only on a fewer pairs. This means like we don't actually manage 10 pairs of foreign currency. I mean, forex pair, we don't manage 8 or we don't manage 5. So what I suggest is as fewer as possible. Okay, so to me actually I'm managing these four, okay, major pairs, so called forex pair. I mean, and then do a forward testing on these strategies, and I guess the strategies, I mean, might be suitable to some people. That's why I'm here to actually share these forward testings ideas. So you may do your forward testings, okay, after I presented to you on these videos, in these videos. So let's start. Okay, first of all, every beginning of the weeks, okay, before the the market is open, basically I will need to identify what is the trend. Okay, the trend, for example, to euro, I mean, sorry, Aussie dollar is a downtrend. I mean, overall is a downtrend, and we can see the pattern is lower low, lower high pattern, and the previous high actually haven't been, okay, broken, haven't been broken. Even though we can see there is a short-term higher high, higher low patterns, okay, we wouldn't know, but in a bigger picture of context of it, I mean, look at the bigger picture, we can see it's actually on a downtrend. Okay, in this scenario, basically what I did is I will actually zoom into the 15 minutes chart and start to look for a sell setup. Okay, so my sell setup basically is quite simple. Okay, I look at pattern only, so I ignore the price actions. Okay, in this case I ignore the price actions, so I just look at the patterns. What kind of patterns I mean, let's say we are looking to sell, so obviously it's lower low, lower high. So in this case, right, the start of the weeks basically, I mean, is around here. So when I look backwards, I mean, to last week, what last week is happening is like I can see that this low point actually being broken. Okay, this low point, so this is to me a lower low. So in this case, right, I will actually uh, use Fibonacci's tools to actually draw a line here. So from this 0% drop to this 100%, okay, drop to this 100%, excuse me, drop to this 100%, then I set a retracement or pullback of 70% to up to this 30% line to open a trade. So I am only trading on the pattern itself. I didn't actually wait for a price action signal in this case. So I try to actually trade with the trend. The first concept. Second concept is I try to take advantage of the pullbacks. Okay, at least 70%. And the third thing is I ignore all the price action. I just focus on the pattern of it. So if let's say we want to trade a short directions, we always look at the lower low, lower high patterns. If you want to long a pair, we should look at higher high, higher low patterns. In this case, for examples, what I have been doing since yesterday, I put a trade order, I put an order here. So the order eventually opens. Okay, I put an order at this opening price. So I set a 25%, okay, on top of this 0% line level, okay, as my stop loss. So it's always 25%. But for this, actually, I did move a little bit lower to my 100% because I can see that the price basically when touch of this area, actually is pullback start to pull back. Okay, so that's why I have actually moved my 100% level a little bit down, so you can see actually my stop loss is around 64918, and my opening is about 6386. Okay, and this is 6156 is my target. So I set a fixed target for this strategy because I do not want to keep monitoring the trade, on an hourly basis or on a 4-hour basis or daily basis. So I just come back and check the charts. Okay, maybe on a daily basis. I don't need to always, sit in front of the computer and look at the chart. How does it actually move? Do I need to change anything? So I don't need to do anything. So this is the concept. The reason why I have these things to do a forward testing on this strategy is basically I realized that a lot of times for a trends, right, basically they have the pattern of itself. So regardless how uh, even though we have a so-called the false break or breakout or kind of the most common one is false break. Okay, so we have this false break. Okay, so false break basically is to squeeze, is to trap people's, like from a pull trap or bear trap kind of concept. So I ignore all these things. I put a percentage for my trades. So I think it's concept wise, personally, based on my trading experience, I realized this concept is workable, and now I'm doing the forward testing. I hope to share with you is because maybe you can do the forward testing result with me. So far my result is quite encouraging. So I have about 40%, right? And based on this strategy, basically we will get around 2R for every trade. So 40% of 2R, basically I still in a net profit positions. Okay, so let's go back to the trade. So we can see actually the trade is moved higher. So I also don't know whether this trade eventually will turn to be a profitable, will go down, or will actually hit the stop loss. I don't know, but I will do these things actually at the beginning of the weeks rather than at the end or middle of the week. Okay, this is very important because a trend followers, we always want to ride on the momentum, the right momentum. So what you have seen in the past week, basically we hope that, the momentum will actually continue at the beginning of the market when the market open. Okay, why I say so? Because if you look at all these things closely, um, what I have did is I have this result to show me that we always uh, able or successful to hit our profit targets at the beginning, okay, of the weeks when the market open. Okay, the chances is higher than at the middle and at the end of the week. Okay, so let me continue with Euro USD. So Euro USD, no doubt, is on the downside, and the EMA 50 and 20 is also pointing to the down. Okay, so in this scenario, actually we will actually go into the 15-minute charts. Okay, in the 15-minute charts, actually my trade, I think the opening wick will be this line, 27, 28. Sorry, I think is should be around here. Okay, so if you look at this, right, actually when I look at these charts last week, I see, the overall trend is actually on the downside, and I see there's a swing low here, another swing low, this another swing low. So this is actually the last swing low and swing high. So basically I will draw a Fibonacci setup based on these 2 points. Okay, 0 to 100%. Okay, I will set a 30% as my opening price, and 25% on top of 0 will be my stop loss, and 150 will be my target of, I add up another 50%. So how the trade is actually going is like, I might be, from the price action currently we're looking at, I have a higher chances, actually higher chances that the price will actually start to move down. Okay, but you see, the psychology way of doing this is you might need to actually manage your emotions. Okay, when you have a trade open at this point, or at this point, or at this point, the trade might be actually go against you for some times. Okay, so you can see yesterday the whole day is actually hovering. I mean, it's actually moving around this area, which is actually quite close to my stop loss. So some people, they might think that they are wrong, or they might have a feelings that they need to get out of this trade to actually cut losses. Okay, but this strategies is basically based on patterns. Okay, so very often, if you look at trends, right, you will see this kind of setup. Okay, so when you see this kind of moving downwards, like swing low, swing low, swing low, swing low, and lower high, lower high, lower high, you will realize that always the price wouldn't hit above this previous resistance area, or even though they have the same level, they will not actually close above it, or they might close a little bit above and start to move down. So basically the force break concept, everything I have factored in, okay, to actually makes this strategy as simple as possible. So for example, for this, right, actually the price is actually close above this previous swing high. So do I want to close the trade immediately when I see this? My answer is no. Okay, we just need to let the trade run. Okay, and let the market tell you whether you are right or wrong, because you are trading on a patterns. Or I can say is, maybe this swing low is not the swing maybe this swing high is not the swing high that market are uh focused on. Maybe this, or maybe even this. Okay, this is things that we can't control, and we can't know what happens, or we can't predict it accurately. That's why we need strategies, okay, a rules based strategies, okay, to actually play with this market. Okay, that's why I already tested a lot of times. I have some samples on my hands. Okay, I want you to do a forward testing on these 15-minute strategies that I'm sharing with you right now. Okay, you will know that somehow the pattern itself is more powerful than the candlestick itself, because the pattern is reading a series of uh, large series of candlestick as a big picture context, rather than a single candlestick. Some people, they might actually looking at a daily candlestick, and we say it's more reliable than 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or 1 hour. Yes, I agree with. Okay, however, in order to ride on a correct trends, right, I think in a daily candlesticks, right, we hardly to see a short-term trends that forming. I mean, we need a lot of time to actually wait for a trend to form. Maybe 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, or 1 year. Then, or we realize, yeah, it's in an uptrend. But before that, actually, uh, we are a lot of time is waiting. So if you are a risk taker, I mean, if you can take more risk, okay, obviously 15-minute charts will have more short-term trend that we can actually take advantage of. Okay, so in this case, we can see the price after hitting this point, it started to move down, and basically we look at the price action is quite favorable to downside now, because we can see the previous low already being broke out. Okay, and the price now is at a one level down. Okay, so in this box, so they are side trading here. So if let's say in the next 10 hours or 12 hours, the price even broke down to this support level, then I even have a greater chance to actually hit my target, I mean chances. So I'm reading at the probabilities. Okay, sorry, I'm reading at the probability. So you can see the R is also 2R. So basically, conservatively, if you're using this based on this setup, you will get a 2R fixed target. So let's say your successful rate is 40% or 50%, you still earn another 50%, approximately. So it's quite mm, profitable strategies, okay, if properly managed. Okay, any strategies need to have proper management. Okay, it doesn't work every strategy, it doesn't work out uh, profitable just overnight. So it need a time. Actually, you need to do some testing. This testing, as I say, I'm doing a forward testing, so I'm using the live market to actually do it. Okay, so uh, USD JPY is something that I want to share with you. Okay, why I say it's important. Okay, it's important to actually ride on the momentum on the trends at the beginning of the weeks. Okay, so I draw the cut-off line first. Okay, so cut-off line will be around these, will be around here. Okay, I think cut-off line 27, okay, will be around here. Okay, so let's see. Okay, last week, actually, before we move on, okay, last week we can see the price are actually on these boxes. Is a side trading for 15 minutes. Okay, so in a daily is more important because daily help us to actually identify trend. Okay, so basically, as I say in my previous videos, I have a short bias on this. Okay, just because I have a lower low, after the price pull out strongly, then the price come down. Okay, second is this strong downtrend is actually break out the previous support. Okay, and the third is we can see actually the EMA 50 and 20 is actually pointing to the downside. Okay, it start to widen. Okay, I mean farther from each others. Okay, so these are all the signs that I'm looking at, whether I choose a long or I choose a short. So in this case, let's say I mean not let's say, I mean it's true from the market, I am choosing on the downside. So what should I do? I mean beginning of the rate. So I'm looking at the swing low and swing high point. So basically we can see, okay, this is the last swing high and this is the last swing low for the weeks before the market open. So after I identify all these, then what should I do? So I go through the strategy one by one with you. Okay, so I will draw a line up to this swing, from swing low to swing high. Okay, then after that I will actually put a short trade on this. Okay, let's see what happened, I mean after this. So the price actually opened, I mean the trade actually opened when the price hit here, and eventually the price moved down to this level, I mean to my target. So I got a 2R at the beginning, not even a day, I mean half day of just a half days, I mean 10 hours after the market open in Asia time. So you can see actually this strategy is workable, but must be with a very careful management. Okay, do not over trade these strategies when you know that, okay, I have short bias on this trade. So the 5 days trading days, I always look for the short trade. You don't remember one thing is the price actually can pull back a lot more than what we expect. Okay, so do not over trade in that sense, is just trade at the right time, then you will see the profit actually come to you. Okay, if you trade anytime, any day, and keep using the same strategies, then this is a sign of over trading, because the price, okay, always need to take a rest when there is a strong trend, okay, or move, strong move. So what do I mean means for this? So for examples, maybe we can look at this. Okay, so maybe we can look at this. If you look at this trend, previously is on a downtrend. Okay, then all of a sudden, I mean uh you say, oh, okay, I know this is the swing low and this is the swing high, then all of a sudden the price pull back very strongly and you say, oh, opportunity is come. okay, then you quickly open a trade and hit this here, I mean around here, then you hope for the price is actually hit your target. But the case is not always happens. Okay, you can see for this, it still can hit your stop loss before the price actually move down, okay, to 50%, okay, or even move down to 100%. Okay, that's why I say choose the right time to actually apply these strategies. Okay, the right time that I have tested is the beginning of the weeks. Okay, so please take note of this and do not overtrade these strategies. Okay, for example, for me, if I have a successful trade on this, then I will skip for this pair for this week, so I just earn whatever I have earned. Okay, I move on to another two pairs that are still running, and USD CAD is currently, yep, is still running also. So let me share with you what is USD CAD doing. Okay, so in a daily in a daily price action charts, okay, we can see actually the price is moving upward very strongly, and it seems like we have a lower low lower high pattern here. Okay, however, because of this move, okay, you look at this swing high, okay, and this is the swing lows. Okay, so basically how do we read a trend is like, yep, in a short term we can see lower low lower high, then we can actually tell ourselves it's a short trade, I mean it's a short bias directions. But however, if we look at the bigger picture, actually this will be the most significant support level. If the price eventually move to this level and break out lower, then I would say the trend of it might be on the downside or reverse. Okay, before that, actually I will actually just focus on one direction, is to buy. Okay, and wait for the buy setup. Okay, so if you wait for the buy setup, then we can zoom into the 15 minutes charts, okay, and check and see what are the good area that we can actually do a find a setup. Okay, we want to see a higher high, higher low. In this case, we can see I have a higher high, and it's not very clear cut higher low, higher high. Sorry, I have a higher low, okay, but it's not a very clear cut of higher high. Okay, so because of the higher low and because of the uh, daily trend readings that on the upside, I actually willing to take a little bit of risk, okay, on this pair, and I using, okay, this swing low and this swing high as my setup. Okay, so we can see I actually draw a Fibonacci from 0% to 100%. So in fact, if you zoom in, you can see uh, it's not a confirmed higher high, okay, but it looks like a little bit higher than the previous point. But the higher low is actually is more confirmed and more clear cut. As I said, because of the daily trend, I'm willing to take some risk on this pair, and actually I using these two swing, okay, this swing low, higher low, and this swing high, higher high, okay, and do my setup. So this is currently what is happening here. You see the price actually when move down to around this level, I mean trigger the trade open, I have a good time, but very quickly the price actually dropped to 0%. So this is some things that very common. Okay, so you just have to patiently wait when you have this kind of setup. When you use these strategies, okay, you must know how to set the things and forget the things, then let the market to tell you, let the market to run, uh, to actually prove you are right or you are wrong. Okay, then you can see in the last few hours, actually the price break out higher high, it started to build a uptrend pattern. Okay, so this is the things that actually I would like to share with you. So the important things of this is, first, we need to focus on the strategies itself, how the setup look like. We are trading the pattern, we are not trading the candlestick. So ignore all the candlestick like bearish candlestick, inside bar bearish breakout, bullish breakout, continuation patterns. everything you have to forget. So just read the patterns, okay? Then focus on only few pairs, okay? Do not overuse these strategies onto 10 pairs or 11 pairs or 15 pairs, okay? You will actually overtrade eventually, and you will find out that you have more losses than profits, okay? Because the price always uh, because the market is always volatile first, so we just want to trade at the right time, and okay, we just want to use the strategy at the right time, okay? So do not overuse it the whole period of weeks. Every day I mean, some people they will actually look for trade for every days, okay? So if you're looking at the 15-minute charts, if you're using these strategies, basically you got a lot of opportunity, but I can tell you that not every chances are worth to trade. So you got to pick your time, okay? Pick your time and pick the right patterns, okay? These are the two things. So I recap everything, okay, which is to me is important. First, focus on the strategies, okay? The strategies I'm telling you is patterns, it's not candlestick, okay? So just ignore the candlestick. Second, focus only on few pairs. The best is less than 3 or 4 pairs maximums, okay? The third is always use this strategy at the beginning of the week, okay, when the market open, because you can ride the momentum, okay? You can ride the momentum which carry forward from last week, okay? When the price move to certain area or level, basically they need to take a breath, and you wouldn't know how deep the breath is, so the pullback might be deeper than what we think, okay? In this scenario, I would not suggest you to actually overtrade, okay, by using these strategies, okay, to the middle and the end of the week. So the best is the beginning of the week, okay. The third thing is, the last thing is you have to forward testing this strategy before you use it, okay. This is what I have found out, okay. I'm sharing with you the strategies and ideas, but you are the one who need to actually validate it and verify whether is it workable for you or not workable for you. Because as I say, psychologically, you will need more patience, okay. Sometimes, okay, if you are very uh, emotional in trading, okay, what happens when you see this? You most probably will exit the trade early to cut losses, okay. This is the thing. So 4 things, remember these 4 points, and I hope my trade ideas actually can provide you some insight or help you to actually do some forward testing samples. uh, Happy to share with you. If you would like my sharings, please click the like button and subscribe my videos, as and when there is a new video pop up, then you will have the first to be notified. Thanks everyone.